Ladies and gentlemen, Barry C here with another cryptocurrency video, and XRP ready to skyrocket, ready for the alt season. Now we are going to see some really interesting price action for XRP short term, mid term, long term. Now, ladies and gents, for those of you who have been following me for quite some time, or even those of you who have just started following me recently, you've seen me talk about this notion of a $1,000 XRP. Now, here's the thing. I can see how XRP could get to $1,000, but it's going to take some time. I think realistically, when we look at the nature of an alt season, I think we can see XRP go to $4, then $5, then $10, and $20. That makes sense to me. I can see that type of price action within the parameters, within the framework of an alt season. But for XRP to start hitting the type of prices that we can see the potential of, whether it's $100, $1,000, maybe even more, we need something entirely different than the alt season. Now, I know that's not what people may want to think or may want to hear, but this is what XRP and Ripple have been talking about since 2017 until now. We've seen XRP come along as the first crypto in finance. We have seen XRP come along and say that we don't want to be different to the existing financial framework. We don't want to move away from banks. We want to work with banks. We want to tick all the boxes of regulations and legislation so that we have a clear pathway to mass adoption, to utility. This is how we see XRP start hitting the type of prices like $1,000, maybe $10,000, maybe even more. Now, that doesn't mean that XRP hasn't seen really remarkable price action within a bull run, within an alt season. Look at 2017 until 2018. XRP went from 0.006 to over $3 a coin. It went so parabolic, it actually flipped Ethereum and Bitcoin in 2018. Look at 2020 into 2021. XRP, despite the Ripple lawsuit, despite being delisted from top-tier exchanges, XRP still went from 15 cents to 19 cents to $1 to $1.85. And then look at 2024. Despite people saying that XRP was dead, despite people saying that XRP would never rally above $1 ever again, XRP went from 50 cents to over $2.60, $2.70 in less than a month in November of 2024. That is remarkable price action. I know it's not the $2 to $1,000 overnight that people may want, but I think that's very unrealistic. Now, when I've talked about this type of price action, $1,000, I've always discussed this idea of it's going to take some time. Because here's the thing, it is that utility run, it's that mass adoption that sets XRP apart from the majority of other cryptos. And it's that type of mass adoption that's going to see explosive price action for XRP. And look, here's the thing, once banks and financial institutions adopt blockchain technology and adopt cryptocurrencies into the way they conduct finance, they're going to turn to the crypto that they've been trialing since 2017, and that crypto is XRP. But here's the thing, once they make that shift and once they make that announcement that they're going to utilize blockchain technology, there's going to have to be a testing period where they have to make sure that XRP and the XRP blockchain can handle the world's financial system and the world's finances, because they're not going to roll it out and then have the whole thing shut down, not work properly, and cause mass chaos. So it's not going to be the immediacy that people want when it comes to a much higher price point. It may take some time. But this is why I've always said to have this idea of a plan, short-term, mid-term, long-term. And that's why we have to look at XRP with multiple price points. And this is something I've been posting on X recently, this idea of XRP going to $4, and then from $4 going to 10 to 20, and then from 10 to 20, there's this very clear path upwards to $1,000. It's incremental stages. It's not $4 to 1,000 immediately. There's going to be steps along the way. Now, when you look at XRP, it is the only crypto that has that possibility. No other crypto exists that has the potential of both an alt season and a utility run. Most cryptos are stuck in the 4-year cycle. And what I mean by that is they're stuck and beholden to this notion of Bitcoin halving event, post-Bitcoin halving bull run, then the second leg up of the bull run, which is the alt season. Then we see a 50 to 60% market correction, which is the bear market, which lasts for about 3.5 years until the next Bitcoin halving event. And then we hear, Bitcoin halving event, post-halving bull run, alt season, bear market, so on and so forth, 4-year cycle. Most cryptos exist in that space. But then here comes XRP. That, yes, XRP currently exists in that space. But then once banks and financial institutions come to the table, XRP becomes something entirely different, because you're not just talking about retail investors. You're not just talking about speculation. We are now talking about the world financial system on a global scale utilizing blockchain technology, utilizing XRP. We're talking about millions and billions and trillions of dollars flowing directly through XRP on a daily, weekly, monthly, yearly basis. And no other crypto can boast that. No other crypto has that potential. So when that does happen, it's no longer about the 4-year cycles. It's no longer about the volatility of an alt season and then the massive crash of a bear market, because banks and financial institutions aren't going to embrace something or utilize an asset or a technology that has extreme volatility in every 4-year period. It's not going to go well for 3.5 years out of the 4 years. This asset is 60% crashed. It's worth a lot less than it was 4 years ago. There's no way they're going to adopt that. I think what's more than likely will happen is that banks and financial institutions will announce that they're going to utilize blockchain technology. They'll announce they'll be utilizing XRP. All that money, the millions, the billions, the trillions of dollars will flow directly into XRP. The price will skyrocket up. And then it's essentially going to stabilize, because once that money's in, that money's not coming out. Once banks and financial institutions make that shift, and they just run the banking system that way now, utilizing a blockchain technology like XRP, that's it. There's no more second chance at a cheap XRP. There's no more adhering to the 4-year cycle of bull runs and bear markets and Bitcoin halving events. XRP is going to exist in a class of its own. And so when you see me posting things like, XRP from $4 to $1,000, that's the path forward. Now, whether that happens in a year or 2 years or 5 years or 10 years, it's solely dependent on when banks make those announcements. But here's the thing, we're already seeing crypto legislation and crypto law come into effect. We are seeing it being passed now. We are seeing interest in crypto at an institutional level that we haven't seen before. There's no blueprint for this. We've never seen a crypto since 2016 until now be utilized at an institutional level within the financial framework that exists today. It's never happened before. Yes, we can look back and look at the volatility of a bull run and a bear market and an alt season. We can see the way those 4-year cycles are played out. There's a historic blueprint. But we've never seen a utility run. We've never seen institutional adoption of a cryptocurrency. And that's why you have to be able to look at the simplistic way of what XRP is designed to do. You have to look at the steps that have been taken to position XRP as the crypto to be utilized in our financial sector. And we also have to look at how the world is reacting to crypto. And there's more and more positive demand to utilize crypto to work coinciding or alongside with the existing financial system. Not to replace it, not to bring about something entirely different, but to coincide. And that's exactly what XRP has been designed to do, and that's exactly what Ripple and XRP have said they will do since day one, since 2017 until now. And ladies and gents, not financial advice, but this is just how I see it all unfolding. It's been that way since 2017 till now, and I haven't changed my opinion. And so when people say, well, there's no way XRP could do that, and there's no way XRP could hit those type of prices, once again, we don't have a blueprint for this. We've never seen a crypto being trialed at an institutional level outside of XRP. And we've never seen a crypto actually go into the financial sector and be put out there in essentially real time to be utilized, to have that switch flipped and to have all that money flow directly into it. We've only seen cryptocurrencies grow and evolve within the confines of a 4-year cycle, within the confines of an alt season and a bear market and a Bitcoin halving event and a post-halving bull run. That's the only framework we have right now. And so that's why when people say those type of things, they clearly don't know what they're talking about. Because unfortunately, what's going to happen is when that utility run does come along and we do see explosive price action, a lot of people are going to be sidelined. A lot of people aren't going to be ready for what that means. And a lot of people are going to FOMO into XRP at much higher price points. It's exactly what happened with Bitcoin back in the day. Back in 2016, 2017, no one really knew about Bitcoin. And if they knew about it, they assumed it was something that was used by criminals on the dark web. It was only after Bitcoin started rallying beyond $10,000, beyond $15,000, people were like, hey, I want in, I want some of this, and they FOMO'd in. Instead of paying a couple of $100s for Bitcoin, they were happy to pay tens of thousands. And the exact same thing will happen with XRP. Right now, it's a volatile asset in a asset class that not many people understand or don't even know the name XRP outside of, the XRP or crypto community. Most people only know about Bitcoin, maybe even Ethereum. But once XRP crosses the $100 threshold and moves up towards $1,000, that's when people are going to be like, hey, I want some of that XRP. I want some of that banking coin. And people are going to be very happy to pay $1,000 for one XRP, or maybe even a couple of $100s to buy half an XRP. That is the reality of the everyday retail investor once banks and financial institutions get involved. And ladies and gents, once again, not financial advice, but what that means is that for those of us who have been accumulating right now, whether we've been holding for years or months or days, we're in a really unique position to actually see life-changing wealth. When the rest of the world is trying to catch up, when XRP is $1,000, we're in the best position possible. Those of us who've been in crypto for quite some time, or even those of us who are in crypto right now, we're in that best position possible to make those life-changing gains. Now, as I said, ladies and gents, none of this is financial advice. Now, if you've enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. And if you're curious about the other cryptos I hold outside of XRP, consider becoming a Patreon. Click the link in the description below, head across to my Patreon page, and consider becoming a Barry C VIP. There you'll have access to all the cryptos I hold, my portfolios, as well as my buy, sell, and take profit signals in real time.